Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestle Plug YouTube channel. It's time for another one of our vaunted watch-alongs. Carl Wilkinson is in control once again, and he's opted for something a little bit special, a Japanese women's wrestling match, no less. Why don't you fill in the audience in what we're watching this week, Mr. Wilkinson?
I'll be honest, guys. I just Googled some Joshi wrestling because I'm like, hey, we haven't watched any yet. It could be fun. And I've landed on, what is it? Cuty Suzuki versus Candy Okutsu?
Wasn't Cuty Suzuki part of the Bomb Angels, the Golden Bomb Angels from WWF?
I couldn't tell you. That's before me, I think.
It's I'm trying to raid my encyclopedic knowledge at this point. I'm really going into the depths of it, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Someone will probably correct me. There'll probably be some Joshi-inspired lunatic like Tanvir who will come on here and be like, actually, you'll find that Cuty Suzuki was part of it. And it's like, yeah, we don't care that much. We're just going to watch some Japanese women's wrestling because we love women's wrestling. Ready when you are, Mr. Wilkinson.
Indeed.
In 3, 2, 1, play. What he said.
This is from 1994.
94. Mate, if there's one thing I know about Japanese women's wrestling, they're going to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
You can see why she was called Cuty Suzuki, can't you? She was quite adorable, bless her. Very similar, I suppose. I imagine, in some ways, quite a big inspiration for people like Riho.
Yeah, I can see that.
They look so pure. They're like so pure and beautiful, and now they're going to kick the shit out of each other. That crowd, mate. Softly, softly.
I'm going to learn some Japanese in the next 20 minutes.
You never know. Beautiful language. I wish I could learn it.
Yeah.
Fucking the aggression on that reverse forearm. Oof.
Oh.
I believe she was going for a Fujiwara.
Fujiwara.
Diana Perazzo would be proud.
What is it? Pure Heart Pro Wrestling? Is that what it's called? I'm trying to read the mat, but the video quality is not great, guys.
It's not too bad, to be fair. For 94, you aren't going to get better quality than this.
Yeah, fair enough.
You're spoiled by the ways of the 4K, my boy. She just totally was like, nope, not having that drop kick. You can go fuck yourself.
Oh, boot to the face. But they don't even care. Holy shit, they're going quick.
Yeah, it is. Pure heart. Pure heart, pure wrestle.
Oh. Oh my.
She's laying that in. Fucking hell. They're built of different stuff. You know, I had Heidi Katrina on the podcast, who is utterly incredible. And you could just see, like, you know, she's a big powerhouse. You know, she's the British Amazonian. And even she was just like, yeah, it's tough, you know. And that's why she liked it, because it was much more physical, much more real than it is anywhere else in the world.
That was nothing if not some perfect product placement. Oh, by the way, our referees are dressed purely in Adidas.
Pretty much. I'm always amazed at how respectful the audience is. So quiet, so respectful. It's like that Adidas side is blinding.
Japanese crowds are still like that now. I haven't watched New Japan in a long time, but anytime I did watch, the crowd was still so respectful, just watching the art in front of them.
It's basically a soccer player as a referee. Very strange. I mean, fair enough. I mean, I imagine they provide very good sponsorship money. See, they got a female announcer on this. This is 1994, and you think how much of a big deal it is now for a female announcer in WWE. They make such a big deal out of it.
Yeah, remember when Renee Young got promoted to commentary? People were losing their fucking mind.
I felt bad for her because she's a wonderful professional, but she was not a very good announcer at all. And I know she was talking about how you've got Vince McMahon and a million people in your ear all the time, but you know, that's part of the job. You must know that going in. It's not like you put a headset on and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I can hear other people. You know, it's one of those things. But you know, I'm not going to take away the fact that she did she certainly broke incredible ground. But yeah, she wasn't fantastic at it. Not when you consider how good Beth Phoenix is in NXT.
Yeah.
That is a deep Boston Crab right there.
Oh.
We taught Georgie Whittle to do the Boston Crab on Cameron yesterday. It was good fun. He was proper laying it in deep. I taught him how to do a correct sharpshooter as well. I was very proud of him. Poor old Jack. I thought he was going to break his back.
See, when I was younger, I was always obsessed with doing the Taz mission properly.
So I find it really funny because you can see that, like, so when I did a referee seminar with Steve Linsky, he always said you should always wear knee pads underneath your trousers because what people don't realise is the amount of times, you know, referees are dropping down to their knees, their legs, dropping on their front so much, you know, that it's actually quite a physically labour-intensive position being a referee. And on top of that, you're having to help them call spots. It's one of the first thing I do when I'm on a show, if I'm working a show, I find out who my referee is and I make myself well known to them and I show my respect to them. First of all, because that's just a dumb thing as far as I'm concerned, but second of all, because I feel like people just ignore the referees a lot. And I always go to the ref and say, you know, we'll be doing this, this, and this. If you need anything throughout the day, let me know, because hard enough job, especially if you're refereeing more than like one match. You know, a lot of these guys are doing 2, 3, 4 matches a day. And that's a lot of information to take in, particularly if you're not leaving and you're staying out there. So, good news. I think James Daniels might be plying his hand at refereeing again in the near future, which would be fantastic for a lot of different people because he's got such a great mind for it. I just think it's funny though because you can see the knee pads on the ref here. You know, the whole idea of wearing trainers. It's so weird. You've got the big socks. The trainers, it does. It looks like a football player.
Yeah, the short shorts, or shorter shorts, I suppose.
You know what makes me laugh the most about Japanese women's wrestling? They are, by far and away, some of the hardest women in the world. And yet they always dress in really frilly, dolly kind of stuff, you know? Like Cuty Suzuki here, it looks like she's wearing what could be described as wedding lingerie.
Yeah, it almost looks like a wedding gown.
It does a little bit, yeah, like a very frisky one. Which, don't get me wrong, I have no issues with. It's so nice to watch a crowd though. It's predominantly men, at least from what I can see in the audience. And they're very respectful. They're not like, you go to some shows, you can see people leering at them. It's like being at the gym. It's, ugh.
Is that like a weird Indian deathlock? Like what?
It is. It's like an Indian deathlock, but without the positioning where you go down and then push the foot in. So I think that was a flying knee lift. In which case, ow. Another competitor not wearing knee pads as well. Oof. Beautiful suplex.
Not even selling the fucking submission. I love it.
Definitely one of the younger referees I've seen as well. Oh, hello. The young boys are moving. Look at them all moving rapidly around them. If Minoru Suzuki was here, he'd be like, I suggest you move the fuck out of my way.
Oh, where are they going?
Well, I was wondering what they're trying to do. I mean, they seem awfully close to the competitors. Like, sometimes when you're ring crew, they get you to do stunts and things like we did at Progress. And, like, it just seemed really strange to me because, like, I would make sure there was distance between me and the wrestlers, even if they were working their way through the crowd, just because you don't want to be getting in the way of their craft. You know, you want to play, and also cameras all around you and stuff like that. You want to make sure they're not in the way. Man, the product placement on the back of the ring crew, the young lions, or whatever you want to call them, is hilarious. It looks like giant bottles. It does. It looks like very weird-looking anime Coke. Beautiful back suplex. So nice to see a referee count properly. Although it is jarring the way they're dressed.
Yeah. Ooh, Dragon Sleeper.
That's pretty gnarly, that is. Every time I watch Japanese wrestling, I sit there and I think, cool, that looks quite real. And then my brain realizes that's because it pretty much is. Have you noticed how every submission hold is applied for a long time, not for like 10 seconds? It's not like a transition like it is a lot in American wrestling. Like, if you're putting a submission on, you would literally fight as hard as you could to make that submission work in real life. So why wouldn't you do it in this scenario? Which is probably why Japanese wrestling gets so much respect for its realism.
Yeah, because let's be honest, it's like 98% real.
That was beautiful. The selling of it as well, it looks like it's genuine fear, like I need to get out or I'll break my neck. I thought she was going to tap them, but she started waving her hand. When did the tap out come into place, though? Didn't that come in about 96, 97? Before then, it was an audible submission, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was verbal usually, wasn't it?
Because I think it's up in arms, but a lot of people claim that Ken Shamrock was the first kind of person to really introduce that with the ankle lock, but it depends who you talk to.
I mean, they were definitely doing like visible tap outs in MMA. Probably first.
Yeah, because well, you got to, because you know the referee, you don't know if you can heal or not. So, and also that's much more real in some ways. This is very atypical of Japanese wrestling. They have this big lull in the middle. But it's almost like they have to. It's because when they build to a crescendo, I think there's so much pace at the end of the match. They almost need time to discuss spots while working submissions. For someone who's called a cutie, she doesn't half look like she's gonna fuck shit up. Oh mate, she oh gnarly.
They can both fuck my shit up, that's all I'm saying.
Lifted her up by the hair and slapped. I like how their kicks are very different, aren't they? They're like thrust kicks. Have you noticed that? We like just leave our boot up. They like sort of put it up, then push it forward again.
Oh jeez, what's this?
This is death by the look of it.
I mean, I know what it looks like. Oh. Planted.
Undertaker would be proud. I love just the casual kick out too from Tombstone. Somewhat of a flying clothesline.
Oh, big bridge out of there.
JR was here, he'd be like, she didn't get all of that.
Yeah, but then he'd also call them all Riho and say they're 98 pounds because that's all he could say.
Oh my god, yeah, every goddamn match. She's 98 pounds! Do you know what's really hilarious is I don't consider myself to be any form of athlete or powerhouse, but like I can squat like 100 kilos. And that's like a lot more than what Riho weighs. It's ridiculous.
I don't know if I could probably leg press like 3 Rihos at this point in my life.
It's pretty pain, to be fair. You can leg press 300 pounds, that is very impressive. Kyle's got meaty calves, ladies and gentlemen. Meaty.
I mean, that's not even wrong. I did a lot of cycling when I was younger. I did rowing in high school, like playing soccer and stuff when I was younger. Like my legs.
Cycling and rowing, you elitist, man.
I loved it, man. When I was younger.
You go to a private school, dear boy.
No, dude, just a regular old high school.
Boss of rowing team, what-o?
But then I graduated, got a car, and got a job at McDonald's. So it all fell apart.
I don't know. Graduated and get a job sounds good. Is when you say and got a car. But it's the McDonald's part, I think, that puts people off. I swear, pretty much everybody I know at some point or another has worked at McDonald's. I'm pretty sure one of the lads I was training with yesterday works at McDonald's. Like, it's apparently a good career for some.
I mean, I learned a lot, and the reason I've gotten some of the jobs I've gotten is because McDonald's is on my resume.
I do like the fact that, yeah, I'm not sure that this speaks well to the match that we're talking about your employment at McDonald's. It's because there's so many lulls in Japanese wrestling. I think this is why I don't watch it as often as I would like. I tend to venture more towards Super Juniors because that's kind of got the pace with it, although that can be a bit ridiculous at times.
Or like the Super J Cup and shit like that.
I like all their knockout stuff, their tournament stuff. I quite like the G1 Climax, but it does feel like a bit of a marathon. You know, it's a bit of a slog.
It's definitely the best, I think, the modern tournament. Because, like, it is just so fun. I remember we covered a few of them back in the day. I'd be, like, getting my spreadsheets and, like, marking off who beat who, because I'm trying to keep track.
It's definitely a statistician's tournament, the G1 Climax, because it is so long, and there's obviously both brackets and things of that nature. I do like it. But I think in the current age where, you know, you're watching so much, you might be watching all of WWE's content, or you might be, you know, for instance, I watch Raw, SmackDown, Impact, and I just think, oh god, now I've got to watch the G1 Climax as well. It becomes a very exhausting process. God, that German with the bridge. Beautiful. Most men can't do it that well. That is phenomenal. Lovely scoops. Do you notice when because of the quietness, you hear the mat and the slap, and I think that adds to it. Just like that was like coup de grace, but with zero fucks given. It's like, yeah, well, I'm just gonna step on you, fuck you. Oh. Ow! Just ow! Like. You're not. There's no way of doing that without hurting someone, is there?
There's also no, like, there's no mat on that floor whatsoever.
There's that weird mat that's taped to the floor, whatever that is. It looks like a soft sponge cake.
The thinnest possible crash mat?
It's one of the ugliest looking mats in the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
Weird take, I know.
Why is
very, very calmly waiting for it to get in. That's almost. I think that was beautiful. Did you see it? Scoop slam suplex.
Yeah.
Boy, nobody does that anymore. Just FYI, ladies and gentlemen, robbing that, so no one else uses it. Oh my god, did you see the ease at which you went up there? That was gorgeous. Came down. Yeah. I just love how, like, even Shelton Benjamin. Wow. Bull Buchanan would be crowd.
Another stomp?
She loves the stomps. Oh, beautiful. Victory roll.
Like that. I'm assuming that was a time limit number.
You would assume so, yeah. Oh, baby. You just about made the top. I'm not sure if that's better or worse. Like, I think you'd probably rather just get hung up on the top. Ow, those Germans, mate. Shoulders up, ref. Pay attention. Left shoulder.
He can't. He's too busy wondering why they're not playing in the 18-yard box or something.
When will I be taking this penalty kick? Great game. Oh, that bump, mate! Just wham! Like, fucking hell, I'll tell you what. That's one for the bump card, that is. Oh, God. Look out. Look out. Beautiful. Simple as well. It's JWP, isn't it? The wrestling. Is it Joshi Wrestling Pro, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm still trying to work out what the fuck is on the back of the ring crew, boys. And also, I love the fact they're all wearing New Balance and stuff. It's like so random. It's just product placement everywhere. You still want to go to Japan, mate? Is it still on your bucket list?
Oh yeah.
I think I'd like Japan. I think the problem I've had is my size, because I'm told everything's really compact. You can stay in like these hotel rooms, can't you? It's just like pods, which I've seen, which look wild as fuck. Is one of the young boys wearing a clown t-shirt and a mask?
I did see that earlier on.
Yes, fuck is going on there.
I want to spike pile drive him through the floor.
They count to 20, don't they?
Yes.
On the outside. Yeah.
New Japan's the same, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I just think it's general. It is in Japan, isn't it? It's different.
I think so. Yeah.
It makes for more tension. Also, the crowd are much more keen to kind of get involved with it, which is good. That's a face maneuver, bringing her back in before the count. This is a battle of honor.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really know the face heel dynamic, but I don't care.
I'm assuming Cuty Suzuki is a face. So it stands to reason. Oh my god. Beautiful.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
What?
She's hardcore. She's hardcore. Oh my god. Holy fucking shit, mate. Yeah, like, and then having the audacity to bridge after. Imagine the gas tank needed to do that. I was blown up
Duplex
after
City,
the
what?
It's like 7 of them in about 15 seconds.
Yeah, Brock, my friend, you got some things to learn.
Oh, you've got to wake up, man. Catch up, bro.
This was in 1994.
That was a very, very clean.
Oh.
I'm not happy with that.
No.
However, the Germans were so impressive. Oh, careful, careful.
You know what? Maybe it's okay that she's stumbling because she just took like 12 Germans in 5 seconds.
Oh
What's
my
this?
god!
Oh my!
Top rope Northern Lights. That's a terrifying move to take on the ground.
But how are they alive?
Oh,
dragon
gorgeous.
suplex.
Absolutely beautiful. That was a proper one as well. There seems to be a real lazy one there where they just kind of fall back and let it go to the side, which, you know...
You mean the one Kenny Omega does?
Yeah, I mean, Trent Seven can be slightly guilty of that sometimes as well, so I'm not just going to pile on Kenny Omega. But that was like the... Driving knee lift off the ropes. Beautiful. Got her!
Wow.
7-year-old with a mask. That was fucking great. Especially the ends. I think... very typical of Japanese wrestling, though. It did take a while to get going, but once it did get going, it was worth the wait because of the sheer impact of everything. Because you'll notice we're kind of chatting amongst ourselves a little bit, and then as it gets later, and you start reacting more, and that is such a typical Japanese trope of wrestling.
Yeah, I'm
impressed by that. I really like that.
And think about it. This is almost 30 years old.
Yeah, Joshi Puroresu, which I believe is a strong style in Japanese. Yeah, really great stuff. It's from a show called Cuty Mania. That was November the 6th, 1994 in Korakuen Hall, which is, yeah, as you know, the most famous Japanese venue alongside the Tokyo
Dome.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very, very cool. Fantastic stuff that was.
Yeah, that was fun. I understand what you mean. Like, we've talked about it before, Japanese wrestling kind of having that slow build. And yeah, you know, talking about McDonald's and doing whatever we were doing. And all of a sudden, you know, 7 suplexes in 10 seconds. I'm like, I got tired watching that.
Candy Okutsu was the opponent, and just out of context, she retired at 26 due to poor health. And I'm not surprised doing Germans like that.
No, Jesus, Murphy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that. That was really good. Credit to Joshi Puroresu channel on YouTube if you want to watch some more Japanese women's wrestling. That was an excellent, excellent example of Japanese women's wrestling. Any final thoughts, Carl?
No, I think I want to watch more of this, to be honest. This still fuels my desire to watch Stardom because I've never actually watched it, but...
Yeah, unfortunately, not all our watch-alongs are fueled by comedy. Sometimes we actually just want to learn. For someone like myself who's still training and trying to become somewhat of a passable wrestler, it's lovely to watch this kind of stuff because I feel like I'm getting an education, very much like I did watching the World of Sports stuff. You know, it was lovely to understand the concept of timing and pacing and building to spots instead of just watching sheer spots. Do you know what's funny, actually? I think that's what, the 9th match we've watched? And... I think possibly the 10th. I'm not keeping count very well. I do apologise. But either way, I've not seen a single match yet, which is just a spot fest of idiocy. Even the death matches, even as stupid as they are, they still build to something. And it's so funny watching this, you know, and this is in the height of when wrestling was so popular. And then watching it now and understanding that although wrestling's still popular and still has some incredible stuff to offer, you have to say you can kind of see more and more why people get a little bit old man on the lawn about the modern style of wrestling and it's just spot fests and flips and things of that nature, because there's so much selling and there's so much great pacing, like you said, and so much great execution of every move. you know, it meant something when she did those multiple Germans. It wouldn't have meant much in a modern day match because of the sheer ferocity and speed that guys work at. And I get that pace and high pace matches can be good, but that's why you have cruiserweights. That's why you have the junior heavyweight division. That's why you have an X division, so that people can mix up the styles. I don't think it's bad necessarily, particularly in the modern era, to have some more stuff like that so people can remember the joys and the craft of the technicalities that go into actually being a proper ground-based professional wrestler. Just my 2 cents.
No, like I'm not training to be a wrestler. I would think I would love to, but
you will be eventually, mate. I've been speaking to Josh Alexander. He says he's going to come around the house and fuck you up. I'm kidding.
well, I could use it. I need some straightening out.
I don't think I really want Josh Alexander fucking me up, especially after I've seen what he's been going through the last few days. If he's wandering around with all them bruises and batters and everything else and just having his dinner like a normal man, he is not a man to be trifled with. And we already knew that anyway. But yeah, good stuff, mate. A fine choice. As always, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to leave it in the comments below if you want to see us cover something else. Maybe you want something a bit more funny, a bit more hilarious. But you got to leave a comment and let us know what you want us to cover. And also let us know what you thought about that. Does this maybe interest you in taking up Joshi wrestling a little bit more and taking more of an interest in it and watching it? And if you're a women's wrestler in particular, is this something that you would look to as a good inspiration? It's always fascinating to hear all kinds of different things, not just the funny comments and stuff. So leave it in the comments below. Obviously, like, subscribe, all that jazz. If you can, it'd be wonderful. Let people know what we're doing. There's loads of different content. We're not just a one-trick pony like a lot of other of these podcasts who kind of, you know, throw an interview out but don't really give you any value for money. We literally cover everything that we can for you guys, and we do it with sheer graft, blood, sweat, and tears, and we enjoy it. We like it that way. From myself, Aeron, and from Kyle Wilkinson, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you very soon for more content for the Wrestle Bloke. Mortal Kombat. That'll be my finisher in Mortal Kombat. Ooh, just like shove my 2 fingers right through their chest. Yeah.
Right up their nostrils, dude. Just.